An old world order, a battle of flicks, and a very magical athlete. Hello, I'm Matthew here on Watch It Played, and this is your board game news. A board game version of the video game Armello has been announced by King of the Castle Games Company. The one-sentence description of the game so far simply says, Armello, the board game, brings the same colourful world and compelling characters from the Armello video game to life on the tabletop. I'm simply ablaze with information. Armello, the video game, is a grand swashbuckling adventure that combines three styles of play: the tactics of card games with the strategy of tabletop board games combined with a character role-playing system. As a hero from one of the clans of Armello, you quest, scheme, hire agents, explore and vanquish monsters, cast spells and face off against other players with one ultimate goal in mind: storming the palace and becoming the ruler of Armello. But of course, Kingdom of Armello is a dangerous place. It's beautiful, but with perils and banes and bandits that hide around every corner. And probably nothing to worry about, but there's also a spreading corruption known as the Rot, which is leaving no creature untouched. Armello has always felt like a board game to play, so this leap into the cardboard world makes sense, and I'm excited to see just how they do that. But when is still very much unknown. But for something that's very much known, it's that this episode is made possible in part by Priorities, a party game of finding the truth among bizarre choices. Its premise is simple. Ask yourself, how would you rank 5 random items from best to worst, from love to loathe, such as waffles, kittens, elevators, 70s folk music, and that feeling when you tip back in the chair a little bit and you almost fall over, but then just at the last second you catch yourself? It's pretty hard to beat. Determine your answers, because then the other players work together to predict the order you've ranked the items. It's everyone, both families or adults, versus the game as they try to determine what your priorities are. How well do they know you? Follow the link in this video's description to find Priorities, which is available now at Target stores near you. Pick it up and make playing Priorities a priority and your next group gaming get-together. Studio H are bringing us the 1-to-5 player Vampire Village. In the heart of a hostile region, you're the head of a fortified village, but when night falls, ferocious monsters emerge from the darkness and storm your village, and to avoid carnage, you're going to have to organise your defences, call in your heroes, and direct most of the dangerous creatures towards your neighbours. Look, it's not about being faster than the vampire, is it? It's about being faster than the person next to you. The game is played over 2 rounds, split into 2 phases. During the day, each player selects cards to build their village, considering the best combination of buildings, the optimal positioning, and also recruiting powerful heroes to protect their villagers. During the night, players receive creature cards to split between themselves and their neighbours. In the best of cases, they choose to keep the creatures that their defences can handle while hitting the weakest spots of your neighbour's defences, because at the end, the player with the most surviving villagers and tamed creatures mastered is declared the winner. I really like the sound of this one, drafting and card placement and a theme I'm into, so I'll be trying this one as soon as I can, which seems to be sometime next year. The next game that grabbed my attention is Battlefields, coming from Elzra. This 1- or 2-player game is coming to Kickstarter soon, and it's a tactical combat game between 2 armies of heroes from the Catacombs universe. First players will spend points to draft their army of heroes, then they place their chosen heroes on the playmat. Different heroes have different movement rates and attacks, and combat is resolved with either dexterity, dice flicking, or non-dexterity, which didn't have any brackets around it explaining what that means. The game provides a variety of units, we're told, both the heroic and the Lich Lord forces, and looks fun. Is there anything else I need to say to justify this one? It looks fun. This one looks fun. I'm pretty excited about it. Winter Court next. This is a 2-player game coming from Rio Grande Games and designer Tom Lehman, the man behind games like Res Arcana and Roll for the Galaxy. In the game, 2 rival diplomats plot to advance their own agendas during winter, while a medieval court is confined to bad weather to a single castle. Should you approach the royals directly, or should you curry favour with the other court members? You see, their powers could be very useful for influencing the royals to your cause, but the steward's purse could gain you extra influence, while the lover could sway the lovesick sighing prince to your side, or while the knight could be a valuable ally to gain either the ruler's favour or the interest of the military-minded princess. Even the scheming charlatan or the fool's sarcastic tongue could be valuable assets. But where to begin and who to approach first? That description, to me, is tantalising, but also admittedly doesn't tell us too much about how to play this political card game, but there's something about this one that's really got me interested. Yellow have announced a new 2 to 4 player King of Tokyo Origins. This is a standalone game in the King of Tokyo series that's meant to serve as an entry point for players since it's smaller and in a more affordable package. The game includes 4 new monsters, which I think is what most people are the most excited about, an assortment of new power cards mixed with older ones, and gameplay remains the same as the original game. I've always considered King of Tokyo to be a great game for new players in the hobby, so this is an interesting announcement to me. Space Cowboys have announced the 2-player game Marabunta. This is designed by Knizia, which is what drew me in, let's be honest. And in the game, each player controls a colony of ants. On a turn, the active player rolls the 6 dice, then splits them into 2 groups. The opponent chooses and uses the dice in one of the groups, and then the active player uses the remaining dice. I love that type of decision, the I split you choose mechanism. It's criminally underrated, so this game has me excited. A game that I have been waiting to come back into print for about 8 years is coming back into print with a new edition of Magical Athlete being teased by CMYK, the publisher behind Monikers and Lacuna. Magical Athlete is a ridiculous game that started off as a Japanese racing and sports competition game using athletes with special powers. Players all start with seed money, used to draft a team of racers. The racers come out in a random order and each has a unique power, mostly modifying movement and rules, but sometimes giving extra pre or post race abilities. They are also game breaking. It's wonderful. After players have their races, there will be 4 or 5 races, and each race players secretly, simultaneously choose a racer, then in turn order, simply roll a d6 and move your racer. That's it. But I think this is probably one of my top 5 gaming experiences of all time. And I will 1000% be getting this when it's out. We just have to wait until 2025. And now, for the latest games available now to play online, is this segment sponsored by Board Game Arena, starting with Hadrian's Wall, where players take on the role of a Roman general placed in charge of the construction of a mile castle and bordering wall. Construct the fort and wall, man the defences, and attract civilians by building services and providing entertainment, all while defending the honour of the Roman Empire from the warring Picts. And also, new releases Don't Go In There, a fast, spooky, easy to learn game that uses push your luck set destruction. And Now Boarding, a cooperative, simultaneous play game in which you work together to fly a fleet of aeroplanes. Follow the link in this video's description to learn and play these and hundreds of other board games online at Board Game Arena. Hegemonic Project Games, the company behind Hegemony, have announced their new game, World Order. The year is 2010 and the world is drastically changing. While the once unrivaled influence of the United States is beginning to wane, other major powers are eagerly stepping into this world stage, ready to claim their piece of the geopolitical pie. In the East, Beijing is rising to become a global powerhouse. Simultaneously, Moscow is entangled in an intricate chess game in Washington, ready to counter its every move. And amidst these tumultuous waters, the European Union is trying to carve out its own identity and role in the international stage. And what the heck is Britain doing? That's my question. It's not part of the game, but what's happening? So World Order is for 2 to 4 players and simulates modern international relations, letting you take control over one of the 4 dominant global powers of the 2010s, the United States, the People's Republic of China, the Russian Federation, and the European Union. You'll need to utilize your diplomatic power, economic strength, and military might to expand your influence across the globe. From regional alliances, entice other nations through clever economic dependencies, or become the military juggernaut no one dares mess with. This is a sequel of sorts to Hegemony, which was a very different game, and is being pitched as playing in a shorter time and with a slightly overall lighter experience in mind, which is what's got me really excited about its launch next year. Salt and Pepper Games really have become a company that I look out for. I just played their game The Hunt and it was great. The latest announcement is for a solo game called Conservas, designed by prolific and often tiny epic designer Scott Olms. What you love most in life is bringing the joy of the sea to the people around the world. You own a small tinning company on the coast of Spain where you simply tried to provide the best conservice for everyone to enjoy. Conservice, turns out, I had to look it up, it's tinned fish. You are responsible for the whole process, from managing the boats that go out in the morning to catching the fish and finally selling your tinned goods. You have specific goals each month, but it isn't always about making the most money. Having a sustainable impact on the sea is very important. If you harm the ocean by overfishing, then you'll fail in your mission. Maintaining a balanced relationship with the sea is vital as you work hard and continue to make the best conservice in the world. So in a game of conservice, you begin each season with a single boat and a little bit of money. The sea is represented by a bag of chits full of fish and water tiles, and in each round, you will fish from the bag, taking some back to your facility for tinning, while leaving others to the sea to breed. In order to win, you must maintain a delicate balance between fishing and allowing populations to grow. And each month, you'll have a unique set of objectives, and your sustainability goals are as important to you as your financial targets. Each market is also unique with specific rules and strategies for making a profit. With 12 different scenarios, randomized decks of boats and upgrade cards, every game is set to offer a different challenge, we're told, as you grow your company. This looks kind of lovely to me. Does that make sense? I really want to try it, and tentatively I believe this one will have a GameFound campaign soon. And that's it for this week's news, but stick with us on your Watch It Play journey here to see the games that have been most popular with our viewers this month, as well as something I can only describe as a first and very much a last for the Watch It Play channel.